So I would start in San Francisco because feel more comfortable heading north because I have a lane between me and sudden death. Welcome back to Car-Pinionated, our weekly show on cars, the car industry, and driving in general. And joining me in this endeavor is my good friend Jeff Buchholz, who is a writer, editor, and reporter at WBBM in Chicago, and also Glenn Packman, Fairfield County resident, improv comedian, and all-around good guy, as well as a car enthusiast. So, gentlemen, I gave you a mission to come up with two trips, one in the North American continent and the other one anywhere else you wanted. Um, the parameters were that it was going to be for about, anywhere 1 or 2 weeks, and you could choose any kind of car you wanted. And then I wanted to find out where you would go, maybe the things that you would want to see there, and why you chose that specific car. So, Jeff, where you, as the person who's driven on almost every continent.
I've driven on a lot of them. That's true. Not South America. I think that's the only continent on which I have not driven, and Antarctica. But yeah, all of the other ones, pretty much. You know, I think for my U.S. road trip, I would redo a road trip that I did almost 10 years ago now, when I turned 50, which was crossing the US on US 50 from Sacramento, California to Ocean City, Maryland. Actually, starting in San Francisco on, I think it's I-80. I can't remember. I think it's I-80, and then turns into US 50 in Sacramento. I would redo that trip for a lot of reasons. Largely, well, one of the reasons was because the vehicle on that trip was a Ford Fusion hybrid that was rented in San Francisco and then dropped off at the Philadelphia airport at the conclusion of the journey. Perfectly cromulent road trip car and averaged 41 miles to the gallon, if I remember correctly. So pretty impressive, really. But I wouldn't call it comfortable, really. Um, I would redo that, probably start in Ocean City and drive out to California.
Mm.
Um, I mean, after, once you've been to San Francisco, Ocean City is kind of a downer, no offense to the good people of Maryland. But I think I would do it slightly differently. First of all, um, I would not use quite as many expressway shortcuts as we did, or as I did the first time around. US 50 became I something or other several times on that drive, and I don't think I would do that. And then the other thing I would do is I would pick a different car. And the car that I would pick would probably be the this SUV tolerating crew is not going to like this very much. But I would select the current Lincoln Aviator for that trip. If I'm going to drive across the country, I want to do it in comfort. I want to do it with sort of effortless power, which I believe the Aviator has.
Mhm.
And boy, air-conditioned seats feel like a good call as well. And something that can be serviced by just about every mechanic and dealership in America would be nice as well. There are I can imagine and I can envision some fun road trips on Highway 1 in California, the Tail of the Dragon in the center of the country. That's great. That's cool. But driving across the U.S. Um, showed me a lot of things. First of all, this country, just in terms of the people that you run into, this country's amazing. And any time that I can spend exploring it is a good thing. Um, and I'd love to be able to do a do-over with some different circumstances and with a different car. So there you are. I have a thought for the international trip, but I'll yield the remainder of my time.
All right. Uh,
The good
Unpack me.
gentle person from Illinois yields the floor.
Glenn,
Me?
your turn. Yes.
Okay. Before I begin, I'm going to say that I also did the cross-country drive twice, once out to Los Angeles when I moved there and once back when I moved home. Completely different trips because I took two completely different routes because I just wanted to see more of the country.
Of course.
And
Mhm.
this and I totally agree that if you have the time to get off the interstates and see actually more of the country, that's a great idea because I really missed a lot, but I just didn't have the time, unfortunately. First route was going south down 81 and then across 40, which is relatively interesting and definitely beautiful when you get into the Blue Ridge Mountains. This was 1989, so we didn't have GPS. I had little maps and everything from AAA, and
The triptychs? Did you have the triptych
yeah, I had the
things?
triptychs, but I also
Love
had my
those, man.
huge Rand McNally US
We
Atlas.
used to be a real country, Glenn.
I know, right? I got a sidebar with a little automotive story. I stopped outside of Knoxville for lunch as I was going through Tennessee, and I brought in my Rand McNally map with me. And I'm at a fast food restaurant, and I'm waiting in line, and there's three lines of people, and they're line going out the door, just popular restaurant. And the gentleman standing next to me turns to me and he goes, "Hey, where are you going?" And I said,
Hmm.
"Oh." I said, I'm going to Los Angeles. And then everything, needle across the record, everything stops and everyone in the restaurant turns and looks. And the guy says at the top of his lungs, "This guy's going to Los Angeles." And the restaurant descends on me like, why have I stopped here? And am I lost? And do I need help? And oh my God, you're so far from home. And where are you coming from? And gee, you seem nice for a guy from the Northeast. All of these. I had it was just testament to how friendly Southerners can be. And I'm from the Northeast. And I was like, you people are freaking me out. And they're like, oh, no, we're just gonna never mind that. It was so unbelievably sweet. And they all were like, well, why are you moving to Los? You could just stay here. It's really nice here. Yeah, I hadn't considered
No.
Tennessee, but thank you for putting it on my so. But
I just think that when you travel the country and you put yourself in a position where you're like actually putting yourself in contact with normal people,
yeah,
regular
right,
humans, you
right.
just discover how great people are
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
how, and Lord knows we need more of that, right?
yeah,
I
especially right
think
now.
about on the first trip, I think about, stopping at this goofy like ice cream stand in southern Indiana, or being in Ohio at some restaurant, and dude striking up a conversation about the weather
Yeah,
just out of the blue, and I'm like, sir, I'm at the urinal, but thank you for thank you for sharing.
right.
It just this country,
Yeah,
man, like
yeah.
you
It,
just got
I
to put
feel
yourself in a position. So that's no, I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, I just feel like that's something that the phone is, the cell phone has taken away from us is that we don't need each other's help anymore.
Yeah,
It was a
absolutely.
really sweet experience, and it was a great trip, by the way. I was having dinner out, and a woman seated nearby who was by herself just introduced herself and said it was stupid that the two of us were eating alone when we could be eating together. And she sat down right across from me, and we just had a great conversation. And I'm like, this doesn't happen where I come from. I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. That was in Arkansas. So,
Hmm.
but yeah. That being said, I wouldn't redo either of those trips, especially not on the interstate. I did find that once you get out of the Rockies until you get all the way pretty much to the Pennsylvania state line, the United States kind of looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you detour to Chicago or one of the big cities, it's just
Mhm.
it's a the Great Plains are great in size. They're,
Yeah.
but that being said, when I was on 80 in Ohio, I remember crossing over the Ohio line and I got into a group of people in the left-hand lane that had a coordinated hive mind, and we were doing 87 miles an hour exactly, and all in this beautiful line. Nobody passing each other, nobody zooming in and out, and I covered Ohio in no time because of that group of people. And we were so clumped together that there was no way any of us were going to get picked off by a cop.
Right.
And we had somebody at the front. It was, it was a ballet of interstate driving. And I've never seen it since. It was just the beautiful thing. After all that digression, I have to say that my US trip is going to be something very tried and very true, something I have done twice, and I will have to do again before I shuffle off the mortal coil. And that is, and you mentioned it, California US 1 up the coast is just there is no over exaggerating how beautiful a drive that is. It's
Mhm.
fun and there's a variety and it's just stunning and beautiful. And someday I will do it again. And I was thinking about the car and what came to mind was like, all right, let me get a sports car that's really comfortable. And I went to the internet and like, what's a comfortable sport? The Chevrolet Corvette supposedly has a beautifully supple ride. Here's the
They
problem.
do now. The new ones do
The
now.
new ones.
Yes.
Yeah, the current C8 supposedly has a gorgeously smooth ride, which really sounds interesting. I just don't want to end up on YouTube as the old guy trying to climb out of the Corvette and someone filming me and go, "Watch this. This is funny." I also, if I'm going to be going up the coast, I want to be in a car that I can really see out of, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be up a
Yeah.
little higher. So I'm going to do something tried and true. I wouldn't want to do anything as small as my current little Buick, but maybe the Envision would be a nice sized car.
Hmm.
It's certainly going to ride comfortably, and I know what I'm getting because I already have one. And that would
Mhm.
work perfectly fine for me. So that's what I would do for my US trip.
The other problem with the Corvette is like you'd want to bring luggage.
Yeah. Yeah. And who am I
I
without
mean,
luggage? Come on.
probably not a lot because you can, yeah, but you'd want to have something in there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You definitely want to leave the steamer trunks and hat boxes at home.
Uh,
I'm not traveling in steerage. I'm just warning you already.
Hmm.
no, no.
What about
Okay,
you,
so
Doug?
I am also on the Pacific Coast Highway, 101. So the one stretch that I have not done is from basically from San Francisco up to the California Oregon border. Um, so I would want to do that. Uh, but I
I've
probably
done
could,
that. I've done that. It's really pretty.
yeah. The Washington and Oregon border ride in that same area is just gorgeous.
Mhm.
Um, so I would start in San Francisco because I feel more comfortable heading north because I have a lane between me and sudden death.
Mhm.
And I would go stop in Guerneville, which I was
Hmm.
there 30 some odd years ago. Really liked it. Um, Up Northern California through Crescent City, and then continue on Bandon, Astoria, which I also really liked. I really liked that a lot. I'd like to see Mount St. Helens again because I really thought I'd like to see the difference this time and how that has changed over, since 1993. And then up to Seattle, which I had a great time in, and I'd like to see more of the city. Um, the Seattle Boeing Museum, things like that. The underground tour was really, really cool. And for my car, I decided that I would like some big old American V8 muscle, the Cadillac ST5V Blackwing.
Oh,
Because what better way to see America than one of the country's best sports sedans? And like a like maybe a black or a dark red. I don't know. I don't remember what colors they come in, but something dark and stealthy, I think would be awesome. That would be my car. So,
the
um,
second place in my car selection would have been a a Cadillac DTS from about 10 or so years ago, actually.
ooh,
Again, another car built to just eat miles.
right. Yep. Yep. Very much so. All right, we're going to take a little break here, and we will be back, and we'll be leaving the country. We're back, and now we've gotten on a plane and gone someplace. Um, so now we can, no limitation wherever you want it to go in the world. Maybe Jeff wants to go to South America so he can pick another country off a continent off his thing. I don't know what kind of cars they have in Antarctica, but that's dare to dream. Maybe you could do that too. Okay, Jeff, why don't we go with you on the out of the country road trip?
I am not a South American trip. It's actually a pretty easy trip, generally speaking, and it's to countries that I have spent a relatively large amount of time in. We are starting in Bonnie, Old England, and we'll drive to the nearest Eurostar port, throw the car on the ferry, get over to France, and spend the rest of the time driving from Calais down to one of my favorite cities in the world, Marseille, in the south of France.
Hmm.
And we'll wind our way through Paris, we'll wind our way through Provence, and the car we'll be using for this will not be a new car. It will be it'll be a Jaguar XK8, the coupe, sorry, the coupe, not the
Okay.
convertible.
Okay.
It is a beautiful car. It is built for two people plus a little bit of luggage just to drive across a country in an afternoon. And we'll pack lightly enough so that we can pick up a case of wine on the way through, and do the very thing that I love doing on, I talked about doing on the U.S. road trip is, stopping in little tiny towns and talking to people and just sort of seeing what what people are like. The Stelvio Pass would be super fun in Italy,
Mhm.
and there are plenty of other exciting drives, the Autobahn in Germany. But um, I'm really okay with not like blistering through the countryside, or maxing out the limits of whatever car I'm driving. I want to be comfortable. I want to see things I haven't seen before, and have experiences that I can remember for the rest of my days. And so it would be myself and my husband tucked into a true grand touring car. Um, and the Jag, because I think my second choice would have been the Alpine A110, and I think that's probably too small. I don't know that I
Right.
can get quite as much Cabernet in the back of that car as I can the Jag.
You also
But
face the
that's what I'm.
European you also face the European version of what Glenn was saying about the C8, like drinking yourself out of it.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
I would have that problem with the Jag, but I would
Mhm.
find a way to get around it. But that's what I'm thinking. And actually, I think the hatchback on the XK8 would probably help swallow up a fair number of cases of Vin Rouge, should I be so inclined, and I will be.
You know, so I was thinking when I was putting this together that I wouldn't have been surprised if you had uh, uh, done a vintage Twingo.
So, I'm still angling to try to buy one. It hasn't worked yet. I think the priority here at Buckles Motor Fleet Operations Midwest LLC is to downsize the fleet rather than add to it. But,
Right,
negotiations continue.
right, okay. Glenn,
Um, this was this was not easy. The more research I did, the more I realized I really need to get out of the country more. Some of them that made my list are there's the road that literally rings Iceland, and you can do a full lap around Iceland that is supposed to be just absolutely out of this world. That would be near the top of my list. The Amalfi Coast in Italy is just, that's one of those. That would be more of a traditional thing, but not underrated at all. But what I settled on was something that I've almost done, but not exactly. And that is to drive. And this is not a long trip, by the way. You could probably do this in a day if you pushed, but I would want to do it in a week so that I could stop and really savor. I would like to do the trip from Rudesheim, Germany, up to Düsseldorf along the Rhine. Uh,
Mm.
just first off, for those of you watching who don't know this, I'm pretty much a wino. I like my wine, especially German wines, because I'm half German. And that is the wine country. Furthermore, my mom, her little hometown is about 45 minutes from Rudesheim, the start of the trip. So I could start there and then jump over to the Rhine. Her little hometown is located right between the confluence of the Mosel River and the Rhine. So that's my mom's, that's my heritage. That's where I come from,
what what town is it?
She is from Castellón, Germany, in a part of Germany called the Hunsrück, which is part of the Rhineland Palatinate. It is a beautiful part of the world. Uh, and again, terrific wine. It's in my blood. I can't escape it, so I don't try. But the drive up the Rhine is just anciently old, castle upon castle, terrific food and wine, gorgeous scenery, and it's just Germany is just such a beautiful country. Um, and I'm saying this as somebody who's been to Switzerland. Switzerland's not so great for driving. You need to get out of the car and start taking
Mm.
railways and
Mhm.
the funiculars and the little aerial cars in Switzerland. That's how you really see Switzerland.
Mhm.
Germany is a lot more accessible by road because they like their roads. And to that end, I would have to do something really very, very European, and I think I would go in a Yugo. I'm kidding. Um, I'm not going to go in a Yugo because I'd like to make it more than 5 miles before breaking down. No, I just give me a brand new Audi S5, and I will
Okay.
be perfectly fine with that. That would be, or any of the German German cars, really. If I'm going to be in Germany, I should do a German car. That being said, when Bill and I were over there several years ago, we ended up with a Renault that had a beautiful ride, and it was a largish hatchback for Europe, and it was a terrific car to drive from Frankfurt around Germany and then up into Switzerland. But that's my ride, and it would be a homecoming sort of.
Mhm.
Or at least I've never lived there, but that's my roots. And P.S. That goes right through Koblenz, Germany. And shout out if any of my cousins who live in Koblenz are watching, because I have family over there. So I
Mm.
stop in and visit them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I
Doug, where are you
am
going?
Yeah.
uh, so
Rahway,
Germany
New
is
Jersey. No.
right.
Another country.
So, yeah. Um, so I would like to go to Germany, and I don't have any specific route, but um, Germany and I really am very interested in World War II and seeing things that, wherever that is, that's France or Germany or England, you know, there's are specific places that I'd like to experience. I would also really like to spend time in Wolfsburg, Stuttgart, and Munich to see the car makers that are headquartered in those four car makers that are headquartered in those three cities. So BMW and VW, Mercedes, and Porsche. Um, and their respective museums. I would just really love to be able to do that. I would like to see Lake Como, Lake Como. Did I get it right?
Mhm.
And I would also like to spend time in England because I would just kind of like to wander around and see specific things. Like there's the airfield where Masters of the Air took place, which I just would find fascinating. I also would like to find the original Top Gear test track. I don't know if it's
Mm.
open, but just to sort of drive by it. Um, for the car that I would like to drive, um, I I was conscious of the fact that the bigger cars that you have in Europe, probably the not, especially if you're in urban environments. So I thought it's a car that they don't import here, but the Audi RS3 Sportback.
Ooh, okay.
So the same chassis as the GTI, four doors, hatch. I think sharp looking, not flashy. That would be a thing. I wouldn't want to. I sort of like in my own personal space, like I don't want to be thinking about the car. See, if I had that Jag, I'd be constantly thinking like, where can I park it? That's not going to be bothered, right?
Mhm.
But anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking. It'd be a very history heavy.
Yeah, the I have been to Munich and I visited the BMW museum and it's really good.
Right.
Sure,
Mm.
Um,
sure.
if I can throw in one little anecdote before we go, when Doug said, "Hey, it doesn't matter how long you're going to be doing this trip, you can take as long as you want." The first thing that flashed through my mind was California 101 from Sherman Oaks to downtown LA during rush hour. It'd only take you 4 or 5 days.
That's right.
It
Yeah.
just, yeah, as someone who lived in Los Angeles, they do traffic there, and that was like,
Right,
oh, that's a good way to waste half of your life. Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
unbelievable. You mentioned 101. It was like you said the portion I haven't done. It was like say Sherman Oaks to downtown. Say Sherman Oaks to downtown.
Hmm.
For those of you who
I
don't
ha
know, that's coming out of the San Fernando Valley, going through the very narrow Cahuenga
right,
Pass, and it's just nothing but bumper to bumper traffic
Hmm.
all the time. So
yeah.
hats off to Angelinos. I know you have to put up with it. It's a pretty amazing
It's
city otherwise, but
yeah, and
yeah.
it's only gotten
Drive
worse
through
since
one
you
of the
were there.
canyons. It'll take you just as
Yeah,
long. Yeah.
yeah. So, all right, gentlemen, we're gonna land the plane. Uh, you
All
can
right.
watch old episodes of Car-Pinionated on our YouTube channel. And we go way back and we have talked about our favorite rides. Glenn wasn't there, but we had it was actually a two-parter, our
Hmm.
only two-parter. And but it was a lot of fun. So with that, we will see you next time.